Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Morning.
Mr. Cowan, could you take your hat off, please? Thank you.
Yep, no problem, Your Honor.
Good morning to you, sir.
Morning.
Cases lined up here. We're going to turn on live in about 5 minutes. We are on YouTube right now. We are on the Zoom platform, and we're just getting all our people lined up here.
Okay.
Mr. Cowan, what case are you here for? I don't have you on my list.
It's Jones.
Oh, what's your name, sir?
Michael Jones.
Oh, okay. Let me give you a name. Michael H. Jones?
Yes, I had to use my cousin's phone because my phone's not working right now.
Okay, very good. We got Ms. Carr, we got Mr. Jones, we got Mr. Lawson. We got LG Stylo 6. I have Michael Hosey Jones in my courtroom, but I don't have a file on him. We'll figure this out. You missed a date the other day, and I think that's what this is about. I've got LG Stylo 6. Good morning. Who am I speaking with?
Danielle Gay.
All right, let me give you a name. It's a lot to get things situated before we go. We are live on YouTube. I'll caution everyone. All right, Glosser, Carr, Gay, Jones. Here's Mr. Jones. I got his file. Sorry. Ashley Carr. Good morning, Mr. Warmack.
Good morning, Ron.
I had Cameron Hope. What happened to him? Cameron, are you out there somewhere?
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good. All right, it's 8:14. Let me turn the record on. Thank you all for logging in a timely manner. We have a very busy day today. Today is Tuesday, and Tuesday is normally our busiest day. We have the arraignments, orders of show cause, and some other bench warrant arraignments here at 8:15. At 9, we're going to start a very busy pre-exam conference docket for the felony cases. So you guys are all here for what's called an arraignment. The arraignment is the process where the judge tells you what you're charged with and asks you how you wish to plead to the charge. You'll see how this goes here in a moment. Very shortly, I expect that the Chief Public Defender, Mr. Stickley, will join us. But I'm going to start out with Mr. Cameron Hope because his case is a little bit different. Mr. Hope, could you turn your camera on?
Yes, I was trying to, sir, but it says it's not letting. I don't know why it's not letting me.
Well, I saw you for a glimpse there.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I know. Are you there at your grandma's house on 6th Ave?
Yes, sir.
All right. This is file 211011 FY. Mr. Hope, you got charged with carrying concealed weapon, possession of firearms by a felon, and resisting obstructing a police officer. Those are all felony cases, and because they are felonies, I don't have jurisdiction to take your plea here. I'm going to arraign you, show a plea of not guilty. I'm going to appoint Attorney John Bush. I'm going to set a pre-exam conference for June 29th at 9. I'm going to set a preliminary examination if needed for July 6th. Now that'll be a real popular day, the first day after the holiday. That's at 1. I'm not sure, Cameron, what these charges are about. They're alleged to have occurred in, I'm not sure where, on May 15th. You posted a bond of $20,000 cash or surety. Do you have any holds on you or anything else from the circuit court?
No, sir. I got something in the mail that was saying that I missed a show cause but I think I was incarcerated at the time, so I don't know. All
right, well, you may want to check into that. But Mr. Bush is your attorney. We'll send you the paperwork. You're still at the 6th Avenue Road, yes?
Yes, sir.
All right, do you have any questions for me?
No, sir.
All right, now this is important. You know the deal. I want you to call your lawyer, make an appointment to discuss it with him. You're charged with felony firearm, which carries a 2-year mandatory minimum prison sentence. So this is important stuff. So, all right, you call your lawyer, make an appointment. Your next hearing is the 29th of June.
Okay, yes, sir.
All right, thank you all.
All right, thank you.
Good to go. All right, for the rest of you, let's pretend like we're in court. I am in court. Once upon a time, you guys used to come in here at the courthouse and we would transact our business. And so we don't smoke, Mr. Jones, if you put your cigarette. We are trying to conduct this as a court hearing. So we'll proceed accordingly. Let's start with Mr. Jones. This case has got some convolutedness to it. Michael Hosey Jones, file 20864OT. This is an old case. It happened April of 2020. Defendant has missed multiple dates, got arrested, bonded out, got arrested, bonded out. And now it was set for this morning. We've recalled the bench warrant. I'm trying to recall whether Mr. Rognus had made any plea offer in this case. It's so old. Anyway, you're charged with driving suspended, first offense in the village of White Pigeon. I'm going to see if I can get Mr. Rognus to join us. He didn't think he had any cases this morning. That's a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. Carries 2 points on your driving record and requires your license be suspended.
Your Honor, I'm trying to pull that up. Do you have a case number? I don't have that on my.
20864 OT.
See if I can grab something on that.
This is Mr. Stickley. He's the chief public defender. He's in his inner sanctum here at the courthouse. Mr. Jones, where are you living? Are you still on Fremont Street?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you have the Fremont experience. Do you have any information, Mr. Stickley?
I do not, Your Honor. Can you give that case number one more time?
20864 OT. You posted, I think, some bonds. I don't even know how many days you spent in jail. You were wanted in another state. Is that correct, Mr. Jones? Didn't you go to Indiana or something?
Yeah, I went to Indiana. That's why I missed court. But I got all that taken care of.
What county was that?
LaGrange.
Very good. Here's Mr. Rognus. Bless his heart. Andrew Rognus is the White Pigeon Village attorney, and he's in his inner sanctum. And I caught him unaware. I just asked him if he would join us. Andrew, this is Michael Hosey Jones. This is an old case, and Mr. Jones kept missing and kept getting arrested. He got extradited to LaGrange County. He's spent several days in jail on this original driving suspended charge. I don't remember if you had ever made a plea offer way back when.
And I'm not even finding a copy of the police report, so it might be quite old.
Well, it happened in April of 2020.
How many prior driving suspendeds do you have, Mr. Jones?
As far as I know, just 2. I got 1 in Branch.
Where do you live?
I live on 201 Vermont, White Pigeon, Michigan, 49099.
What are you suspended for?
Let's take a
One of them was I forgot to turn my headlights on in the middle of the night, and a cop flipped his lights on and pulled me over and asked me for my ID, and I told him I didn't have one.
So what, you got suspended because you never paid that ticket?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, what about the second one?
The second one was a speeding ticket that I forgot that I never paid either.
Okay, you don't have any drunk driving convictions or drug crimes?
Nope.
I'd allow him to take, permitting another to violate the motor vehicle code as a 0-point offense, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Jones. What he told you is mostly accurate. He's got a bunch of unpaid tickets way back to 2012. Mr. Jones, the plea that he's offered is to an offense called allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code. It's an interesting offense. It is under the Motor Vehicle Code. It's a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 90 days in jail and fine of up to $100 plus costs, but it carries no points and it doesn't get abstracted to your license. It won't affect your ability to keep or maintain your license. But you got to pay off a bunch of tickets before you can get your license. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor, but Your Honor, can I say something?
Certainly.
Well, I mean, I got a bunch of fines, but it's kind of hard when I was wondering if I can get something stating that I could drive back and forth to work or restricted or something because
I don't have the authority to do that. I say this a lot. If I was king of the world, I would give people like you a permit to get back and forth to work, but I don't have the authority to do that. You are between the proverbial rock and the hard place.
Your Honor, if I may, I think he can petition DLAD, but that's not something you're gonna just do on a whim.
No, you got a process to go through, Mr. Jones. And one thing you got to do is pay off all your tickets. I'm trying to see if I've got bond in here. Did you post a bond?
yes.
Let me find it. He had missed several court dates, Andrew, and so he'd done some jail time on this. Let me see if I can find the bond. I
You
may have
can do
enough.
whatever you want in regard to fine cost, if you can convert some of that into jail time. I don't know if you can do that on a CI though.
Well, that's not a civil infraction.
Oh, okay.
Well, that was a $400 PR bond in May.
And anything he paid in the LaGrange might have gone towards his stuff in Indiana.
Yeah, I don't see any bond money.
Well, I don't take any position in regard to the amount of fine and costs imposed by the court, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Andrew. Thank you for coming in on short notice.
Okay, thanks. I'm out.
Okay. All right, I don't see there's any bond money in here anywhere. You did do a couple days in jail for failing to appear.
Yes, Your Honor.
In front of Judge Pattison, you did 6 days jail. So I'm going to give you 6 days credit, 6 days. Well, first of all, we need to establish that you're going to plead to this. Are you going to plead to this lesser charge of allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code? Guess I have to make sure you're convicted before I do the sentence. Are you going to plead to that lesser charge?
Yes, I plead guilty.
All right, so let me ask you a couple things. And this applies to everybody that's here. Do you understand that if you plead to this charge, you'll be giving up your right to have a trial in front of a judge or jury? Do you understand?
Yes.
If you had a trial, you'd have the right to be represented by an attorney. Mr. Keith Stickley is here as the chief public defender, but if you wish, we can appoint an attorney for you, and that would be a county expense, or you can hire one of your own choosing. If you had a trial, you'd have the right to take the witness stand and testify on your own behalf, but you don't have to, because you have a right not to testify, and if you did not wish to testify, the judge or jury cannot hold your silence against you, and you have the right to be presumed innocent if and until the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Where were you going that day, way last April?
I was driving from Sturgis to my aunt's in Constantine.
All right, I'm gonna give you 6 days jail credit, 6 days, $75 fine that goes to the village, $75 crime victims' rights fee, $50 state minimum fee. That adds up to $200. I'm gonna give you to the end of July.
Okay.
Pay that, that's 45 days. Can you pay it by then?
What is it again?
$200.
Yes.
All right, do you have any questions?
No, I don't, Your Honor.
Mr. Jones, I'm glad we got this case resolved. We've been chasing our tails around for more than a year on this. And Mr. Rognus was very helpful, and he gave you a very generous plea offer. But I can't wave my magic wand and get you a license. You are stuck. You can't drive until you get all this stuff squared away. It's hard right now to get an appointment at the Secretary of State's office. But don't drive anymore until you get this straightened out.
Okay.
All right. Ended up doing 6 days in jail for this. All right, you're good to go.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Well,
We've had
yeah.
of other people. Mr. Hewitt, this is Judge Middleton. Let's pretend we're in court. Would you
Can you hear
take your
me?
hat off and take the cigarette out of your mouth? Once upon a time, you would have to drive over here to Centerville. You're calling in from work, which I don't mind. I like Nirvana as much as anybody. Put your cigarette down and just listen carefully. For one thing, you're late. You're about 15 minutes late, and so you missed some of my instructions. So just sit and wait, and we'll get to your case here in a moment. Pretend like you're in a courtroom. We also have Craig who has joined us. Craig, what's your last name?
Craig.
Craig?
No, first name's Robert, last name's Craig.
All right, you might be a little early. Let's see what you're here for. Yeah, you're a pre-exam conference. So stay where you are. I'm going to put you in the waiting room. You're a little early, but you're in the right spot. You talked to your lawyer, Mr. Knopfinger?
Talked to him once yesterday. He's supposed to get back with me today.
All right, very good. I'll put you in the waiting room. Okay, let's go with the folks we got here. Mr. Barnes is here from the city of Three Rivers. Let's see if we can take care of some Three Rivers cases. Mr. Warmack, this is Judge Middleton here. I'm just down the hall from you, but would you take your mask off, please?
Yes, sir.
Good morning. And I'm going to put Mr. Hewitt in the waiting room too. He's bashing around there. All right, Mr. Warmack, you're charged with driving suspended. That's the same case as the last gentleman. It's our most common offense. It's a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. Carries 2 points on your driving record and requires your license be suspended. You got this ticket in the city of Three Rivers on June 2nd. So let's take a look. You're revoked and you got a lot of baggage on your driving record. Mr. Barnes, is there any plea offer here?
Not really. He's revoked. He's driving around in a car with no plate on it, which wasn't charged. So I think a driving suspended first is satisfactory. He's probably got priors.
Mr. Warmack, do you still live in Sherwood?
I do, Your Honor. I'm in the middle of actually moving. That's a mailing address for right now.
Okay, well, that works. Anyway, you're charged with driving suspended. You don't have to plead to it. You have a right to plead not guilty, and if you wish to, I'll appoint an attorney to help you with this. But it's alleged that Michigan Avenue near Benjamin Drive. Okay, that's out by the Armory, I guess. How do you plead to that charge, sir?
Actually, it was actually on Michigan Avenue by McDonald's is actually where I was originally.
All right, Benjamin Drive must be the one that goes back to Bentwater's apartments, that little cross street. All right, how do you plead to that?
I plead guilty, Your Honor.
Where are you going?
I was actually getting off work, and I was headed to my dad's, which is where I'm staying right now at the time. But the car that I was driving is a car that I was purchasing for my 16-year-old son. I've had transportation issues. I've been walking to work.
Where do you work?
Well, at the time I was working at Peterson Springs, but now I have another job that was.
Which Peterson Springs? The one out on Heimbaugh or the one?
Yes, sir. The one on Heimbaugh.
Okay. That's a long way to walk to work from
That's a
anywhere.
long walk, and I had to take that walk quite a few times. And so I was purchasing this car for my 16-year-old son because, I mean, he's doing pretty good right now. He's being real responsible. He's old enough to take his driver's training, and he's working and saving up his own money. So there was still $100 yet to be paid for the car. And I was going to have him pay it with his own money to finish paying it off. And I basically drove the vehicle to get to work that night. I was on my way home, and basically.
All right, well, did you have a license in another state?
No.
I'm Keith and John. I'm having trouble discerning his driving record. It just says he's revoked, but doesn't tell me much else about it.
I have an appointment, Your Honor, but it's all the way out till November. I tried explaining that to the officer. The earliest I could get in, the earliest appointment that I did online was way out till
Yeah, there's a lot of controversy about that right now. You can try to get a next day appointment. They were impossible to get, but the Secretary of State has opened up 350,000 more spots. They had a report on this on Channel 3 last night. And if you get this driving suspended, it's going to undo your chance to get a license.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm worried about, Your Honor. And having that appointment, I was hoping that I could pay some of what's owed to get my license back in good standing. But yeah, the appointment, like I said, was so far out. It's not till November. So.
Well, you got a bunch of unpaid booking fees, which are a St. Joe County phenomenon. 3, you got an unpaid retail fraud. You got on 4 booking fees. Driving suspended, failed to pay. All right. Yeah, you're going to have a very difficult time getting your license back. You haven't paid your last driving suspended ticket. Would you like to go to jail for a while?
Not really. I start a new job actually Thursday this week.
Then you need to align your waterfowl and pay your, I can live with the booking fee tickets, but you got other tickets you're not paying. I sent you, because of COVID, we stopped arresting people on these bench warrants, but you got an unpaid ticket. So I'm going to accept this for sentencing out of ways and see if you pay your existing ticket. If you don't, I'll just put you in jail and wipe out both tickets. That'll be a good way to do it.
I think what they did, Your Honor, they combined a few of my charges and what I owed, as far as what I owed to the court. I think they combined those, and they wanted me to set up a payment plan
Yes, that was me, and I set up a payment plan, which is a good idea, but you never made any payment. So a
Yeah,
payment plan assumes that maybe you'll make a payment,
Yes, sir.
but you didn't. So I'm gonna set this for sentence. Where's your new job?
WE Slit in Three Rivers.
All right, I heard they were hiring. I've heard they're a pretty good place to work. But you need to set for sentence for July 26th at 10:30. See if he pays off his existing DWLS ticket. I suppose we could do the jail on weekends so you wouldn't miss work, but you need to, I want you to stop out at the counter and see the ladies before you go and find out how much you owe on just that one ticket. You got a bunch of other stuff, but let's just find out how much that is.
I did stop in, Your Honor, on Friday of last week to check that before today's hearing, and I think it's a total of like $543 that I owe. I mean,
Well, if you start making some payments, maybe I'll give you some consideration on this.
Okay, I can make a small payment today, Your Honor.
All right, that shows some good faith. Stop and see the ladies at the counter. Put your mask back on and they'll help you out there, okay?
All right. Okay,
All right, you're good to go. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, let's bring in Mr. Street and Mr. Hewitt. Thank you for your patience. As I said, once upon a time, we'd be in the courtroom and you'd be sitting here on a hard wooden bench watching everybody else.
What is the court? Yeah, you can.
Mr. Hewitt?
Yes, I'm when the box is up.
Trying to rein you in here. You were smoking and making a lot of noise and wearing a hat, so I put you in the waiting room. We'll get with you in a moment. But we've got people that were here in a timely manner. Let's take care of them.
Your Honor,
yes.
let me just check off two others. It looks like they're probably no-shows. Looking at the
Yes.
William Dunson.
He did not check in.
Case number 21-1161.
Thank you, Jason.
That's a driving suspended and no insurance.
Yes, Dunstan did not check in, and
All right,
September
and then
is
there's
not.
September Knowles.
Yes, she's not here. I'm disappointed. I'm gonna give her a call, wake her up, but she's not here, and Mr. Dunstan is not here.
You want me to hang out for that one? Wait.
No, why don't you go take care of your paying customers, and at the end of the morning, I've also got PECs which start in 18 minutes. I'm going to get deluged. So go back and take care of your other business. If I need something, I will send you an email.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. All right, let's focus on the folks that are here. Nathan Eugene Blosser has been patiently waiting. Mr. Blosser, you got a ticket for open intox in a motor vehicle and refusing a preliminary breath test. That was on May the 20th. You live in Indiana.
Yes, sir.
In Michigan, open intox is a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $100. And the PBT charge is a civil infraction, and then you also got improper lane use. The PBT is 185 and 165, and the improper lane use is 120. Mr. Stickley, our chief public defender, is here. Mr. Stickley, do you have any plea offer here?
I don't appear to, Your Honor, but if I could briefly break out with the gentleman, I would appreciate it.
All right, that would be helpful. Thank you. Mr. Blosser, are you the Blossers who used to live out by Corey Lake?
I'm not sure. That wouldn't be me. Maybe it was my cousin or a family
right.
member of some sort.
All right. Well, that was, you had some cousins. They went to 3 of our schools. I don't remember you being there, but where'd you go to school?
Out here in Goshen, Indiana. I moved around a lot of my life, so I was in Texas, Tennessee here.
All right. In Texas, I understand you can have beer in the car if you're a passenger.
I do
But
believe so, yeah.
This ain't Texas. I'm gonna put you in the breakout room to talk to the public defender, and then we'll see where we're gonna go, okay?
Thank you, sir.
All right, then let's keep plugging away here. We've got the other folks that have been waiting. Ashley Carr. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Carr, you've been charged with, wow, this is from 2019, with non-sufficient funds checks, more than 100 but less than $500. So let's find this. That's a misdemeanor. I believe it's punishable by up to 90 days in jail. Let's find it. It's alleged that on or about August 9th of 2019, almost 2 full years ago, that you wrote a check at Huntington Bank bearing Auto Park Bank as payee, which was false. That's a misdemeanor punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. Ms. Carr, my recommendation would be that you plead not guilty to this charge, and I get an attorney to help you with this. You did live in Sturgis. Do you live in Kalamazoo now?
Yes.
Are you on Buchanan Avenue?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any objection to my suggestion that I get a lawyer to help you with this?
No.
This is 2 years old. It involved a check that I don't know a lot about. I'm going to set an attorney trial for July 16. 9 o'clock. What's your occupation, ma'am?
I am an account manager at Advanced Employment.
Well, you had at some point you need to get fingerprinted. You haven't been printed. This is a 1-year misdemeanor. So let's see how things develop. I don't have a phone number, but that Buchanan Avenue address is accurate.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to send you some paperwork, which will tell you that your next hearing is July 16th. That's a Friday morning at 9 a.m. I'll be on vacation that day, but Judge Pattison will be here. I want you to call your attorney, make an appointment to discuss this with him prior to that date. This is 2 years old. The previous prosecutor is not in office anymore. What the heck? Anyway, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, we'll send you that July 16th at 9 a.m. and we'll see if we can somehow resolve this matter, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Drop my pen. All right, Ms. Carr, I'm going to release you from the session here.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Ms. Gay, let's talk to you. Danielle Marie Gay got a ticket for driving suspended. As I indicated, that's our most common offense. It's punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. There's 2 points and requires that your license be suspended. Mr. Stickley is back with us. Let's take a look, Ms. Gay. Let's take a look at the ticket. It's alleged that on or about September 8th of 2020, you were US 12 and Man Road, failed to yield right-of-way. You got a civil infraction, which might have gotten defaulted, and then this driving suspended. This is actually a bench warrant arraignment. You were supposed to be here way back last October. We did a bench warrant. Then there was a bench warrant out for your arrest. Then you called and wanted to clear the suspension and said you don't have any money, you need a pay plan. So let's look at your driving record. There it is. Where do you live now, Constantine or South Haven?
I live in Indiana.
All right, well, you have a bunch of baggage on here. You got suspended for an unpaid ticket in South Haven. You have some previous driving suspended. And at the time we ran your driving record in 2020, it was suspended. I didn't think to run a new one. Mr. Stickley, do you have any plea offer here?
I do not, Your Honor. I was trying to look this up. I do not.
All right, the charge is simply driving suspended. It looks like the other charge got defaulted. How do you wish to plead to that, Ms. Gay? Do you wish me to appoint an attorney to help you with this?
No, just pay it.
All right. It's going to further suspend your driver's license. Do you understand this?
Yes, I do.
Now, I went through all those rights while you were here listening. Do you understand you have those same rights?
Yes, I do.
All right. Where were you going way back on September of 2020?
Back to the house where I was living at in Constantine.
Where were you coming from?
I was coming from Cassopolis.
Whose car were you driving?
Mine at the time.
Have you done anything to get your license straightened out other than call us up to get back on track?
No, I haven't. I just started looking into it just recently, and now I'm trying to take care of everything.
Well, it's further complicated by the fact that you live in Indiana. I want you to call the court here this morning and give your address. Did you give it to the ladies when you called the other day?
I don't think so. No, she didn't ask. She just sent me to you guys to schedule a date for court.
All right. Well, there was a warrant out for your arrest. I'm going to give you a fine, but you're going to have to pay it. And I don't know where to send it. I don't want to put your address over the live feed here.
Okay.
What do you do now, Miss Gay?
I work at McDonald's and I take care of my kids.
What town?
In White Pigeon.
Okay, so come back and forth. Well, you can't drive in Michigan or Indiana probably, but how do you get back and forth to work?
My friend that I stay with takes me to work.
Very good. All right, $125 fine, $75 crime victims rights fee, $50 state minimum fee. That's $250. Can you pay that by July 31?
Yeah.
All right, if you need more time, contact the court. I want you to call the court and give your address so we can send this to you, okay?
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
No. Do I still have to pay the bench warrant?
No, I've recalled the bench warrant.
Okay. Thank you.
Because you kept not showing up, but we got the matter done. So no, you don't have to pay the bench warrant. You need to pay this fine by July 31st.
Okay, thank you.
I'll put defendant to call with address. All right, you're free to go.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Hewitt, let's talk to you. get you back to work. Before we do that, Mr. Stickley, did you have any luck with Mr. Blosser?
Your Honor, we're asking that the court under a plea of not guilty and set it for a pretrial.
All right, probably appropriate. Is that agreeable with you, Mr. Blosser?
Yes, sir.
Non-attorney trial?
What's that?
Mr. Stickley?
Sorry, Your Honor, I didn't hear you.
It's a regular pretrial?
Yeah, regular pretrial is fine, Your Honor.
The prosecutor used to come to these, and for reasons that I won't go into here, they decided not to do that anymore. And once upon a time, you would have had to drive up here from Elkhart for this pretrial, and it was a terrible inconvenience to have to come back. Now that it's just by Zoom, some of the attorneys, White Pigeon, Three Rivers, Sturgis, they come to the arraignments, but the prosecutor is no longer doing that. So they're not here to meet with you. So we'll set another pretrial via Zoom.
Okay.
I apologize, we can't take care of it here today, but we'll see what we can do. All right, I'll reset this. You'll get a new notice in the mail and you're free to go.
Thank you, sir. You have a wonderful day.
All right, let's talk to Mr. Hewitt. Trevor Hewitt, you're charged with the crime of the day, which is driving suspended. And you also got charged with impeding traffic. Driving suspended, as you heard, is a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. Our Chief Public Defender, Keith Stickley, is here. Mr. Stickley, any on this?
I do not, Your Honor. But I think I might be able to benefit from talking to Mr. Hewitt for just a second.
All right, thank you. I'll put you in a breakout room. Deborah Davis is just ready to log in, but probably not for this. You start over. When I start getting tricky with more than one room, I get into problems. All right, so let's do Trevor Hewitt. And Chief Public Defender. All right, who have I got in the waiting room?
My name's Jessica Kiefer.
All right, let me give you a name. Oops, things jump around. Jessica K. Good morning, Deborah.
Morning. Is that Jessica Kiefer?
Yes.
She has not had any contact with her attorney yet.
Oh.
Well, she's here now. Let's take care of Mr. Street. We're struggling with a couple of cases we needed some help on, and we just set them for pretrial. Kybron J. Street. Mr. Street, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. You got a ticket on April 18th for being a minor in possession of alcohol in a motor vehicle. That's a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $100 plus cost. Normal fine and cost for that is $75 plus the state cost for a total of $200. They say that happened, I'm not sure where, here in St. Joe County on April 18th. You missed a couple of court dates, and I canceled the warrant, and then somehow you got arrested. Did you go to jail for a day for this?
Yeah, matter of fact, I had a warrant and they pulled us over, and then, you know, because of the alcohol, they ran our IDs, and then I had went for the night or whatever. But I don't remember missing no court dates. And last time I had court, like not long ago, they ain't say nothing about no missed court dates or nothing like that. And my attorney ain't said nothing like
You
that.
got a lot of court dates. You also got some stuff in circuit court.
Yeah.
All right. Well, how do you plead to this charge?
Not guilty. I wasn't even drinking that night.
All right.
The beer that was in there, he got on BS because it was in the passenger side in the control thing or whatever. And the thing was full of cigarettes. My man's was smoking cigarettes all night. I don't even smoke tobacco.
Okay. Well, that's a plus.
Or
I'm going to
drink
just set
beer
this
like
for,
that.
I'm not going to appoint an attorney because you're not going to go to jail for this. Set a 1-hour bench trial. You got those other matters here and in circuit court that are pending. So be careful who you're with and where you're at. You don't want to be the wrong people in the wrong place at the wrong time. You are right, Mr. Street. You always show up. I haven't known you to miss a court date, but I'm not sure what happened here. Anyway, you plead not guilty. They have an obligation if they can to prove it. So I'm going to set a bench trial. It'll probably be sometime in July. You still at State Street in Minden?
Yeah, 306.
All right. Are you working somewhere?
Yeah, I work at Aquatic.
You're still there?
Yeah, I should be getting into Clayton home soon.
All right. You're good to go. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
I've got a bunch of people in the waiting room, which we're going to endeavor to persevere. I've got no show on Reginald Lawrence, Michael Redman, William Dunson, and our friend September Knowles. Keith is back with Mr. Hewitt. I'll have to close that breakout room. It might take 60 seconds. And then I'm going to shut off the feed, identify everybody, and turn it back on. And but that should finish our misdemeanors. All right, we're back with Trevor Hewitt. He's at work. He had met with the public defender, Mr. Stickley. This is file 211094. People versus Trevor Hewitt. Mr. Stickley, what did you accomplish, if anything?
At this time, Your Honor, I think it'd be appropriate to enter a not guilty plea for a regular pretrial with Mr. Hewitt. If it has to go further than that, then he can get an attorney and go that route.
All right. Again, Mr. Hewitt, I apologize. I can't do a instant pretrial anymore. Where are you working?
Forest River, Postman.
All right, we'll get you back to work.
I kind of like to break away from it. You know, it's a lot of work.
Well, once upon a time, you had to drive all the way over here to Centerville. But we'll set a regular pretrial. Plead not guilty. All right. Thank you. You're good to go back to work.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, it's 9:03. We're actually not in terrible shape. We have a bunch of people that didn't show up.
Your
Mr.
Honor?
Hewitt, yes?
When is that pretrial?
I'm going to send it to you in the mail. Are you still at Gateway Court,
Yes.
Apartment C?
Yes.
All right, we'll send it to you.
It's certainly no rush on that for Mr. Hewitt, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so remove. Keith, I think you're good to go.
Here, anything else, Your Honor?
All right.